Continuing our reading in Poppy and Ereth by Avi. Today is chapter 11, Above Dimwood Forest, and chapter 12, Ereth shares some awful news. Chapter 11, Above Dimwood Forest. High over Dimwood Forest, in the swirling mists of the night's deep darkness, very much higher than Poppy had flown, the day's thick humidity caused clouds clogged with drought dust to gather. The dust particles turned, tossed, and tumbled, rubbed one another against one another, and by doing so charged the clouds with electricity. The electricity grew until it needed to release. Atop Bannock Hill, on the hazelnut tree, hung Ragweed's earring. The earring's loop of metal was isolated enough, high enough, to draw lightning like a magnet. With a great crack, a bolt of lightning shot from the clouds down toward the earring at enormous speed. When it struck, the earring's purple bead exploded into dust, and its metal wire instantly vaporized into a shower of tiny sparks. One solitary spark landed on a dry leaf. The leaf began to smolder. When the smoldering leaf became hot enough, it burst into a small bud of flame and continued to burn. A second leaf soon caught fire, and then a third, and then a fourth. A tiny blaze in the dark night. Chapter 12. Ereth shares the awful news. Ereth did not sleep much that night. He got up. He lay down. He turned around in circles, all the while wishing night would last forever. When day arrived, he would have to inform Poppy's family about what had happened to her. The mere thought of it made him groan. Cauliflower. No more swearing, he cried. Never again. Twice during the night, Ereth heard thunder rumble. Once, while squatting by the entryway to the log, he saw and heard a crack of lightning. Agitated, he listened for the sound of falling rain. None came. No, just lightning, he sighed. No rain, no Poppy, only misery. Through half-lidded eyes, the exhausted porcupine watched the eastern sky's gray glow proclaim the day's new dawn. As the light grew stronger, birds began to chirp their reedy songs. Rays of sunlight sliced through the forest like flaming swords. The long shadows cast by the forest's tall trees gradually withdrew, as if sliding back into their own roots. And slowly, but with certainty, the morning heat proclaimed another scorching day. Weary and tense, a panting Ereth closed his eyes. No, I must tell them now. He got up slowly, feeling a deep hunger. The only thing he had eaten the day before was a solitary dry twig. He searched his log, but discovered nothing to eat. Salt, he whimpered. I need some salt. Having run out of excuses, the porcupine waddled out of his log. He blinked at the hot, bright sun and scanned the sky in search of clouds. Not one was in sight. Bright is bad, said Ereth. Oh, night is nice. I don't have to look at anything. Then he muttered, and no one can see me. He gazed at Poppy's snag. Oh, how lovely it would be if his friend came strolling out, as she had done so many times. She'd give him a cheerful wave and say, Good morning, Ereth. Perhaps she'd ask about him. Perhaps a tiny, damp kiss on his nose. Ereth's vision became so bleary with tears, he could almost see Poppy standing right in front of him. He closed his eyes. Good morning, Uncle Ereth. Ereth blinked open his eyes. There before him was Ragweed Jr. One of Junior's children was with him. To Ereth, the youngster looked like Junior. Ereth glared at the mice. At that moment, he hated Junior, hated all mice who weren't his beloved friend. Hey, Uncle Ereth. said Junior. This heat sure is something awful, isn't it? Did he catch that lightning last night? Came close. Maybe before the day is out, we'll finally get some rain. I suppose, Ereth mumbled, only to retreat into silence. This is my son, Spruce, Junior went on, bringing the young mouse forward. I don't think you ever met him. Thought it would be nice and about time. Spruce, say hello to Uncle Ereth. He's Grandma Poppy's best friend. Lo, said Spruce, staring up in awe at the porcupine. It seems Spruce and Poppy have become great friends, too, said Junior. He's bringing her a nut he found. Spruce held up a half-eaten nut. Ereth frowned. Is something the matter, Uncle Ereth? Said Junior. You look like you're in pain. Suppressing a swear, Ereth said, why did you come here? Like I said, we've come over to see Poppy. Thought we'd say hello to you, too. Poppy, Ereth stammered, isn't here. Oh, she out? Asked Junior. Gone off somewhere? Any idea where? When she'll be back? Ereth cleared his throat. Last time I saw her, he said, she was, He could not get the fatal word out. Instead, he said, she was flying. Spruce stared at Ereth and then turned to look at his father. Dad, did Uncle Ereth say Grandma was flying? Junior did not seem to hear his son's question. To Ereth, he said, my mom was what? Flying. Flying? Where? No, in the sky, snapped Ereth. Where else would she fly? Junior gazed at the porcupine. Uncle Ereth, he said, after a moment, has the heat gotten to you? It makes some dizzy, confused, especially old guys. No, I'm not old, Ereth barked. The force of Ereth's words made Spruce back up a step and press against his father, but he never took his eyes off the porcupine. No, of course not, said Junior. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Well, I guess Spruce and I had better get going. Come on, pal. The two mice moved toward Poppy's snag. Spruce, staying close to his father, kept glancing back over his shoulder at Ereth, a perplexed look on his face. I'm telling you, Ereth cried after them. She's not there. That's okay, Junior called back. We'll just check for ourselves. Oh, maybe she is there, Ereth whispered under his breath. He allowed himself a stirring of hope. He watched closely as Junior and Spruce went inside the snag. He was still looking when, a few moments later, the two came back out alone. As the mice returned to him, Ereth glanced away. I guess you're right, Uncle Ereth, said Junior. She's not there. Doesn't look like she packed up either. Must have gone in a hurry because things were left out and about. Really, have you any idea where Poppy went or where she might be when she might be coming back? No. How many times do I have to tell you? Said Ereth. The last time I saw her, she was flying straight up into the sky. Dad, Spruce whispered loud enough for Ereth to hear. I think you really did say Grandma Poppy was flying. Yes, bellowed Ereth. That's what I said. Uncle Ereth, please, you don't have to yell. Just explain yourself. Ereth gulped a draught of hot air, then said, yesterday I went down to Glitter Creek to take a bath, but instead I almost drowned in the mud and called for help. So of course Poppy came and helped me. She cares for me, which I was grateful for, except the next thing I knew, she was gone, vanished. Then I saw something that looked like her flying straight up into the air, which is to say, I'm pretty sure I did see her. Ereth faltered. Junior's whiskers trembled visibly. Saw what? Poppy's ghost, said Ereth, barely whispering. Her ghost? Exclaimed Junior. Yes, screamed Ereth at the top of his voice. Poppy's ghost! Are you trying to tell me, said Junior, that Poppy's ghost went flying into the sky, which would mean that she must have died, yelled the porcupine. Yes, died saving me. Who else would you have died for? Junior stared up at the porcupine. Mom? Dead? Ereth looked everywhere except at Junior. Spruce broke the heavy silence that followed. Dad? He whispered. Is Uncle Ereth saying Grandma Poppy died? Shh, Junior said gently. But to Ereth he spoke with some severity. Uncle Ereth, is that what you're trying to say? Yes, cried Ereth. Yes, yes, yes. I can't believe it, stammered Junior. Dad, how would Grandma be dead? Interjected Spruce. I just met her. Then how else? Said Ereth, still gasping from the effort of his long explanation. Can you explain the fact I saw her ghost soaring up into the sky? But where, when, how? Junior continued to stammer. Trying to keep from bursting into tears, Ereth slowly repeated the events of his trip to Glitter Creek. Uncle Ereth, said Junior, now speaking in a soft, pleading voice, are you absolutely certain you saw Poppy's ghost? Oh, how many times must I say yes? Cried Ereth. Junior turned to Spruce. Spruce, he said, I think we need to go. To Ereth he said, I'll check Poppy's snag again more thoroughly and see if she left some kind of message. Not waiting for a reply, he turned and led Spruce away. Ereth watched them go. Then he gazed up at the sky as if Poppy might be there. The sky was blue and cloudless, and the air so hot it seemed to quiver before his eyes. He felt dizzy, sick, miserable. The whole world, including him, was turning old, drying up. He swished his tail and ground his teeth. He wanted to bite something, or somebody, to swear. All he did in the end, however, was to turn slowly about and make his way into the deep, dark end of his log. There he hunkered down, trying desperately to understand what he should do. No, I need to make everyone know how much I cared for Poppy, he whispered at last. Well, I'm the only one who really knew and understood her. The only one who truly loved her. How am I going to show that? He thought hard. I know, a funeral service. That's what I'll do for her, yes. The biggest, best, most beautiful funeral service this forest has ever seen. Uncle Ereth? With a start, Ereth looked up. Spruce had come into the log. The young mouse held a paw to his nose. Oh, what's the matter with your nose? Ereth demanded. Spruce said, it stinks in here. No, never mind stinks, Ereth snapped. Did you find anything about Poppy? Dad is still looking, said Spruce. Uncle Ereth, do you really think Grandma Poppy was flying? Her ghost was. Then I think she's fine, said Spruce. Oh, how could she be fine? Demanded Ereth, quite sure that this was the most irritating mouse he had ever met. Before Spruce could reply, Junior came into the log. I'm afraid you must be right, Uncle Ereth. Not one sign of her, he said. I'll need to tell my brothers and sisters, the rest of the family too. Good idea, said Ereth, relieved that he would not have to do the task. Junior turned to go. Oh, hold it, cried Ereth. Junior and Spruce stopped. What about the funeral service? I guess, said Junior, but your family will want something, insisted the porcupine. The whole family could gather, pay their respects. Well, if what you said is true, but... It is true, said Ereth with something like anger. I'll organize it. Uncle Ereth, I need to check some more, but I'm sure it would be kind of you. You were her best friend, and if Poppy really died, I'm sure the whole family would appreciate it. Yeah, I'll give a speech about her. Sure, something short, said Junior. I imagine my brothers and sisters will want to speak too. Uncle Ereth, could you truly arrange things? Of course, muttered Ereth. Thank you, said Junior. He went out of the log, Spruce by his side. As the two mice left the log, Ereth heard the youngster say, Don't worry, Dad. I'm going to find her. Alone again, Ereth snorted. Oh, something short. Oh, show them what a best friend can do. I'll show them a funeral that no one will ever forget. Next moment, Ereth became quiet. Then he said, Of course, if Poppy hadn't died, I wouldn't have to do any of this. She should have known how much I dislike making speeches. Oh, lazy creature. Oh, if I died, I'd be making my own speech. And that's the end of chapter 12.